It's time for the last musical in this series, and I cannot think of a more appropriate way to end this show than with a musical that celebrates the highs and lows of this profession, a chorus line. The first docu-musical, A Chorus Line, was the brainchild of Michael Bennett, and it revolutionized every aspect of this business in 1975. It created the idea of workshopping a musical. Its success helped fund the public theater for decades to come. It used computerized lighting. Its set was nothing more than a blank stage with a mirror. It made leg warmers, an international fashion statement. And somehow, this niche story about dancers auditioning for a Broadway musical connected with just about every person who saw it, leading it to become one of the longest-running musicals in history. A Chorus Line starts at an audition with a director looking at a group of 17 dancers, and from that 17, he tells them, I need 4 boys, 4 girls.
Need any women?
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony nominee Jane Summerhays.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I can't get it close enough. I don't have my glasses. A Chorus Line was slated to open on September 29th, 1975. Now, all the programs had been printed for opening night, all the tickets. The anticipation was palpable. Enter a musician's strike. Now, this is not a good thing for a musical. And Chorus Line finally opened October 19th, 3 weeks late. It hit New York like a tsunami. I mean, to get a ticket was like winning the lottery. And it was deceptively simple. As Rob was saying, it was the lights came up on a totally black, minimalist stage, completely devoid of set pieces. There was a white line that went across the stage that the dancers stood on. The dancers were dressed in leg warmers, tights, t-shirts, dance gear. And let's see. Many of the people, the dancers who were in the taping sessions were in the original cast in the original performance, and they were all telling their own stories. Now, Kelly Bishop, who originated the role of Sheila, told her story. It was completely based on her. Daddy always thought that he married beneath him. That's what he said, that's what he said. When he proposed, he informed my mother he was probably her very last chance. And though she was 22, though she was 22, though she was 22, she married him. Life with my dad wasn't ever a picnic, more like a come-as-you-are. When I was 5, I remember my mother dug earrings out of the car. I knew that they weren't hers, but it wasn't something you'd want to discuss. He wasn't warm. Well, not to her. Well, not to us. Everything was beautiful at the ballet. Graceful men lift lovely girls in white. Yes, everything was beautiful at the ballet. I was happy at the ballet. I auditioned for the show in 1976. It was a massive hit, of course, and they were forming two other companies. The New York company was moving to LA, and they needed a company to replace them on Broadway, and one to go to London. The auditions were exactly like the show. We all showed up in our gear, and we stood on the white line, and we had to step forward and give our names, like the kids just did, where we were from, and our age, and yeah. And what made us start dancing. And then we learned the actual combinations they did in the show, and we sang, and that was it. So we went through all of that, and I'm standing on stage, and we're all just kind of waiting, and they've pared us down. There aren't that many of us left. Michael Bennett comes up the aisle with Bob Avian, and he comes over to me, and he says, "Who are you?" I said, he said, "Where have you been? Why haven't we seen you in anything?" And I said, "Well, I haven't been in New York that long, and I just did a special with Shirley MacLaine called Gypsy in My Soul." And he grabbed my arm. He said, "Is that anything like my show?" I said, "I don't know. I haven't seen your show." "I can't get a ticket." And he said, "I'll get you a ticket." Now, I interpreted that as a positive omen. Well, soon after that, dancers all over town were getting calls. "You're going to be in the LA company as standby or whatever. You're going to be in the New York company. You're going to London." All, you know, call after call after call I'm hearing. My phone, silence. Nada. Nothing. And this went on and on. And I was a wreck. Then I got a call. "Mr. Bennett would like to see you again." Oh, great. Yeah, okay. So I donned my dance studs and showed up at the Schubert and went into the basement where we were waiting before to be called. And I was the only one there. Then they called me up to the stage, and Michael Bennett comes to me, and he says, "Okay, I don't need to hear you sing or see you dance. I want to talk. I want you to talk." And he went down into the, back down into the house, and he said, "Okay," and asked me a few questions, and I answered them, and then I got a script, and he asked me to read the script. Then he came back up on stage, and he stood there. He said, "Okay, you got it. I'm sending you to London." And he said, "I want you to watch Cassie's dancing. I want you to watch the dance. But you're not Cassie, you're Sheila." And I had a hard time singing at the ballet because it was the most incredible adventure. And our cast, I think there's something about being out of town, you know. You get really close to the cast. And the show in London, they went crazy. I'll never forget that opening night as long as I live. There was that, and then when the show became the longest running show on Broadway. The team that put Chorus Line together was incredible. Now, we all know that a musical is collaborative, but in Chorus Line, all those pieces fit together like an exquisite intricate puzzle. It was flawless. And its appeal, of course, as Rob was saying, was its universal themes, something that everyone goes through, the experiences, what we go through growing up, a family problems, just all the hormonal stuff that goes on. And then finally finding your passion and what it takes, the hard work, the dedication, the striving, sometimes the sacrifice, and striving for perfection. Well, if you're a dancer, you have a sell-by date. There comes a time when you can't do it anymore. The last question that Zach, the director, asks the cast is, what are you going to do when you can't dance anymore? Now, I'm going to sing this song, and I sang alto. But I've got the melody here, and on the last chorus, I want you all to join me, because I know you know it. And I want you to furnish the soprano. Kiss today, goodbye. The sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck, the same to you. But I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. But I won't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Gone, love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. Everybody, kiss today goodbye, and point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't regret, can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love. What I did for love. Thank
Jane
you.
Summerhays, Michael Lavine, all of you, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.